What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode where today I'm going to be talking about Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is a little bit different for me, but I've been playing this game and I absolutely love it. And I just want to share with you today everything that you should know before you choose your house if you're about to start the game, or before you should choose your house if you're about to start like a new game plus game and stuff like that, and everything you should know about before you do pick. Because I chose my house and honestly I'm happy with my choice in my first playthrough, but I wish I would know about a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about before I chose it. But at the same time I purposely avoided everything, but I'm going to share everything that I can with you now so you know what to expect when you choose the house that you choose. Now, I have finished the game with all three houses now, so I know what to expect from a lot of the different characters, the storylines, how it breaks up. I'm not going to give away any spoilers here, so don't worry about that, but I am going to go over a bit of the different narratives and the ones that give you a bit more options and the ones that give you more bonus and a bit more enjoyment out of the game, rather than just picking the house and it just kind of being very battle focused and gameplay focused, more story focused as well. So first of all, I want to jump into the Black Eagle house and Edelgard's house. So as you can see, I am flicking through it in the game right now, through everybody that's in that house, but I'm going to go a little bit more in depth into the house itself as well. Now, if you're playing this game and you're looking for something very narrative and story focused and very kind of storyline focused with a lot bigger decisions and a lot of big relationship development, then this is the house for you. Because compared to the other houses, the kind of narrative and story that goes alongside the Black Eagle house is a lot better. Because when you get later on, this is the only house that offers you sort of heartbreaking storyline twists. It offers you kind of big decision making options that you don't really get with the other two houses. So this one is a very good house to pick for that. Or you can do what I've done personally, and I started off with this house and then I switched over to the other two later on, and now my kind of fourth playthrough I'm doing this house again to go and experience the other options in the storyline, because there is a lot of kind of moments where it's oh, be careful, because what you decide here will massively change the storyline in the future down the game. And it is a lot more narrative and a lot more story based than the other two houses are, but that's not a bad thing. That is a great thing if you're wanting to play this game for the story and not really for the kind of more the experience of the game, if that makes sense. Now, I do have to mention though, the Black Eagle house does have one upside / downside, so depending on how you're wanting to play in your combat, the Black Eagle house has a lot more kind of sorcerers and magicians, so it has a lot more kind of people that are focused on getting the reason and faith abilities up rather than getting the kind of lance and axe and sword up. At the same time though, yes, there's more people focusing on that kind of ranged magic, but at the same time you do get Edelgard, and out of any of the house leaders or any of the other characters in the game, she is by far the strongest in development over time and options that you can go with routes, and just her general power, just because she's very focused on the axe skills, which gives you a lot of options for very high damage frontline. And although, yes, I know later on in the game you don't want to be using your kind of house leader as a front line, if you get her leveled up quite far ahead early, she can be very strong and kind of carry you through the game in general. Now, one last thing I want to say about the Black Eagle house before I move on is the fact that I'd say out of the three houses, this is the hardest to play through. And it's not because I started off with this house and I just thought it was the hardest because it was my first time playing through. It's just got a lot more squishy targets and a lot less frontline and high damage frontline, which is why I'm saying with Edelgard, get a very high ranked up early, and then get maybe one of the other two kind of melee kind of units high up early, just because the ranged ones you can focus on later. But I'd say this is easily one of the hardest houses to keep everybody alive if you are playing on the kind of more original way to play, where your units will permanently be dead if they die. So you may need to look at recruiting other people in. So I recruited Raphael in, and Raphael was really good in this house because it was another front line that took a lot of damage and dealt a lot. But I'd say it is the hardest in that sense, just because you lack that front line and you've got a lot of squishy back line. But I am going to leave it here with Black Eagle House. I am going to give an overall at the end, but I am going to move on to Golden Deer next. Now, when I was playing through with each of the houses, I'd easily say without a doubt I enjoyed playing with Golden Deer more than any other. And the reason isn't just because Claude's a lot more fun than Dimitri or Edelgard, but like it's that the entire house itself has a lot more interesting characters. And it's not that everyone else in every other house is just dull and boring, but it's just their development's a lot more interesting, their like kind of relationship development's a lot more interesting. And also when you do get onto later game, rather than just having a unified unit that's just kind of storming each area, with the Golden Deer house there's a lot more like with the political side of Forlan, and a lot more with like the kind of, it's not just a straight unified unit, it's like 5 different leaders lead the alliance, so there's a lot more kind of in-depth later on. But the story is a lot more kind of more interesting. It's not as in-depth or as heavy as the Black Eagle house, but the Golden Deer house is more of a, like a kind of interesting story. It's slightly lighter but more interesting. Now I'd say that Golden Deer is easier than Black Eagle, but again you do still have a lot of squishy range targets. So you have a lot of archers and you have like sort of 2 mages off the start again as well. But the difference here is your front line is a lot better. So your front line is Hilda, Lorenz, Raphael, and I'm pretty sure there's someone else as well. Oh, Leone just came up on screen. Thank you for that. But like they are a very strong like kind of 4-man front line, and then you kind of get a decent like 5-man back line with like the archers of like Ignatz and Claude, and then you get your kind of mages in Lucifia and Marianne, and it's just a very nice balanced house, but it is still quite like, if you position correctly it's an easy game, but if you don't then it can be hard. So when I played this playthrough I focused on leveling up a lot early, so before I went into one of like the kind of mid-game missions where I really struggled with the Black Eagle house, when it came to it with this, I already had like people registered as snipers, so they get that little extra range as an archer, and it made those mid-game kind of battles that I struggled with originally a lot easier. And also I managed to get through this one without losing anyone, and without really ever coming close to losing anyone. So I think the students are a lot more balanced. I think the house is a lot more fun to play with, and I think it is easier than Black Eagle house, but not as easy as Blue Lions, but I'll get onto Blue Lions in a second. But yeah, overall I'd say if you're wanting a kind of fun normal difficulty kind of playthrough that's not too heavy on story but still enough story to be intrigued and be interested in what's going on, I'd say Golden Deer is the house for you. So finally I want to move on to Blue Lions. Now Blue Lions, I'd say story wise it's more very kind of traditional. So like if you played Fire Emblems in like games of the past, it's a lot more traditional. If you haven't, then basically it's kind of very, they want to keep the balance between everyone, they want to leave things as they are. They're very kind of not too dense in story and not too kind of cheery. They're kind of perfectly in between kind of Golden Deer and Black Eagle, although the story levels like still like decently like kind of thick. It's not like overly thick, but it's not like so light that you're kind of jumping in and out of like the kind of serious story. But the difference with this house compared to the other two, which I think is the most notable difference, is that without a doubt this is the best house on the battlefield. And I say that because of the fact that the house itself is very balanced. So you have a nice balance between front line and back line, and then you can just focus on recruiting people from other houses that you believe that you need the most. And although it doesn't have 20 mages like Black Eagle, it has Mercedes, and Mercedes' ability as a healer is the best ability in the game. So every other healer, if they take damage, they need to take turns to heal themselves, or they're having to just sit back and do nothing. Whilst Mercedes, if she heals someone else, she recovers the exact same amount of HP. so she's a very sustainable healer, and it makes it a lot easier compared to the other houses where you have to pay a lot more attention to your healer than you do with the Blue Lions. And like I say, it is just generally very balanced. Now I just want to talk about Dimitri, because Dimitri is very good. I'd say he is easily the second best character in the game for scaling, for how much they can do later on, and also again with options. Now, the reason I didn't talk about it too much with Golden Deer is because Claude is an archer. Claude really only has like kind of one path, and you just have to go down that path. And although yes, he is very good, he is nowhere near as strong as Dimitri and Edelgard, and I'd even say there's a few general students that may be slightly better than Claude as well. One other big thing that I want to mention with Blue Lions though is the kind of every house has its second in command. So with Golden Deer it's Hilda, with the Black Eagles it is Hubert, and with Blue Lions it is Dedue. Now Dedue is easily the strongest out of the three. He's an extremely good frontline, deals a holy ton of damage, and he is overall very good and could be a house leader by himself as how strong he is. So honestly, if you were wanting the kind of easiest playthrough of the game, so maybe like you just want to play through it once first before you kind of make a proper decision, then Blue Lions is easily the easiest house to play through the game, just because it's very balanced. Their units are generally individually strong, their house leader's very strong, they're just generally very good, and it's a very balanced storyline, very kind of balanced gameplay. It's not too in depth, not too heavy, and it's not too light so you don't really take it seriously. It is just a very kind of in the middle out of the three, and just generally very good. Now I do want to just do a quick summary on the three and just explain why one big thing that you need to take into account before you do go ahead and pick that house. Now before you do choose your house, don't be like, okay, I love Mercedes, I love her personality and her abilities, I want to go Blue Lions. I love Raphael, I love his personality, I want to go Golden Deers. Or I'm just thinking with Black Eagles, I love Sylvain. No, Sylvain's Blue Lions. I recruited him when I was in Black Eagles. Like maybe I love Dorothy, I want to go with the Black Eagles because she's a really cool character I relate to. Now the reason I say this, and I say don't tunnel down onto a certain character, is because if you did not previously know, you can recruit any student or any faculty member, including the Knights of Seros members as well, into your house. So you could, like, I've had it where I've had like 16, 17 students at a time, and I've basically just focused on the people that I want to focus on. And you can have as many people in your house as you want, or you can take the people from the other houses that you want. Now, I'm going to just quickly mention that to make this easier, do build up support level with them, because your requirements, the amount of requirements needed will drop. But I am going to be doing a video on the best students to recruit into your houses, depending on what houses you're playing as. But I'd say without a doubt, don't focus on a certain student, because you can recruit any student. If you want to focus on a house leader or a second in command of a house, then do, because you can't recruit them across. But anybody else can be recruited into any house. So if you want Leone on the Blue Lions, you can have Leone on the Blue Lions. So just bear that in mind before you pick your house. And I hope when you do pick your house that you do enjoy the game, because as soon as I finish this game once, I just wanted to play it again, and then again, and then again, because it is lots and lots of fun. And I'm going to bring more information about all that if you want to hear about it. And if you've got any other questions about the game when you've been playing it, then please do comment them down below, and I will make sure to reply to them all. Now, if you've not watched my videos in the past, I am going to put a little password at the end like I usually do, and if you comment it down below, I will guarantee a response to your comment, and I will love that comment as well. And the password at the end of this video is going to be Flane. So that's Flane on screen now. So comment that down below if you want your comment loved, and thank you all for watching. Remember to subscribe to see any other content coming out soon. I will catch you all next time. Thanks again. Goodbye.